Welcome to our gentle class today. And our overall theme for the 12 weeks is on vitality and how to increase vitality. And we talked about sort of things that we can add to our lives to increase our sense of vitality, but also what we can let go of in order to increase that sense of vitality. And today, what I want to look at is really tuning into the present moment. So when we kind of let go of the past and the future, and I mean, our monkey mind has a way of carrying on no matter what. But if we can kind of bring our focus into what's happening in the present moment, from moment to moment, we when we let go of all that other stuff, it kind of diminishes our stress level. So we get stressed out when we feel like we've got so much going on, and there's this sense of there's too much, and we feel kind of compressed. And in that compressed feeling, there's actually a word for it in Sanskrit, which is dukkha, and it literally means to feel tight or compressed, but it also translates to suffering. And so when we let go of some of that stuff that gets in our way, and we just really tune into the present moment, and kind of let go of some of those layers of stress. That said, it can actually be challenging to focus on sensation in the body, which is what our focus will be tonight. So sometimes when we have pain or discomfort in the body, we'll ignore it and try to push it away. And when we bring our attention there, sometimes it feels like it kind of increases. So I invite you tonight, if you're paying attention to your body, it feels uncomfortable or difficult emotions may even arise depending on how you feel about your body and experiences you've had with your body. So if any of that arises, feel free to just orient to the actual room that you're in. So look around, and really the goal is to be in the present moment. So if it's noticing the room around you or feeling your breath or whatever feels more comfortable to you, maybe than paying attention to your body in that moment, just go ahead and bring your attention to whatever feels like it's present for you in the moment. So we're going to start seated. You can be on a chair, on the floor, whatever is comfortable for you. And we'll be there for about 10 or 15 minutes. So you want to be comfortable. If you need to shift or move around in between, that's totally fine. And we'll go from there. So I'll see you on the mat. You want to come to a comfortable seated position. That could be cross-legged like I am. That's not absolutely necessary at all. It could also be legs stretched out in front of you, on a chair, sitting on the couch, whatever is comfortable. You just want to make sure that your spine is fairly erect, so you're not slumping over, kind of slouching into the couch. Some couches have that ability to suck you right in, so resist that and then come to the edge of the couch if you're on a softer seat. So take a moment to just tune into our bodies and notice what's present for us right now. And if you feel at all fidgety, because we're just starting out and just sitting down for a while here, you can go ahead and move anytime you need to. So if you like, you can close your eyes. Let's just start to slow down a little bit. So we kind of take ourselves out of our everyday and into this more meditative space. So take a moment to notice your breath as it moves in and out of your body. There's no need to change anything. You'll start to become aware of where your body meets the ground. So whatever is touching the ground or on an object like a chair that's touching the ground. So feeling into that, maybe your feet, perhaps parts of your legs, the bottom of your pelvis. And feeling that sensation on your body where it meets the ground. And I'll also say that sometimes when you're paying attention to your body, areas may feel numb. There may be no real sensation there, and that's really normal. So you can just notice no sensation as a way of noticing sensation. So feeling your connection to the earth, noticing whatever sensations are present with that connection. And then again, letting your awareness come to the area of your torso and noticing the movement of your breath. So wherever it moves, there's no right or wrong here. So notice any movement around your chest and heart, maybe around your belly, perhaps in the back of your body. And get curious about your breath. Where does it move? How does it feel? And then let your awareness travel upwards into the area of your shoulders, your arms, right down to your hands. Just notice what's present, any sensations that you're aware of in your shoulders, your arms, wrists, and hands. And then tuning into your jaw, your neck, your face and head. And noticing what's present there, any sensations. Try not to label them as good or bad, but just notice what's there. And if you encounter areas that are painful, certainly notice, but try not to dwell. I'm going to add a little bit of movement, and as we move, I really encourage you to stay connected to what you notice and what you feel in your body. So we'll start by having the hands on the knees or the thighs and lifting the heart. Draw your shoulder blades back, take a breath in, and then round your back. Let your chin come down toward your chest. You can exhale here. And then lifting again, draw your shoulder blades back and let the heart lift. And then as you exhale, let your shoulders release forward, let your head come down, let your back round. And you can coordinate this movement with breath as I've been offering the suggestion, but you can also just move and breathe freely. If that helps you to tune in more to your felt sense, if you're not worrying about how you're breathing, then just tune into the feelings and just breathe normally. You feel in your neck, your shoulders, your chest, all along your spine. And so let's finish after an exhale and come back to a fairly neutral spine. So you're just sitting upright. We'll take the arms into this goalpost position. And you want to make sure your shoulders are really comfortable. So let the elbows be a little lower than the shoulders. And then we'll draw the elbows even more down as they go back and feel a little lift in the heart. And then we'll bring the elbows in towards each other, hands come together, and the elbows might meet, they might not. Again, you can round the upper back a little, let the head come down. So we'll open. As your elbows open, they're going to come down and the heart lifts. And then as you bring the elbows towards each other, you can round the upper back, let the head come down. And you continue like that. If you want to coordinate breathing, if that feels good for you, you can inhale as you open, exhale as you close. But coordinating the breath is never required. It's always an option if it feels right for you. So next time you lift and open the arms, we're just going to lift to neutral, stretch the arms out, palms down, spread your hands so your fingers are wide and reach your fingertips away from your heart, and then check if your shoulders are creeping up and let them sink down. So your arms might get tired, and if you feel tension in that tiredness, by all means, take a break, come back to it after a moment. If you can stay with it, stay with it. So here we're going to turn the palms up, baby fingers coming forward, and keep lifting the baby fingers, rotating the shoulders open. Notice what you feel all up your arms. And then slowly roll down, and you can keep rolling the hands back, but the shoulders roll forward even here. Maybe the thumbs lift behind you, and notice what you are aware of here. And then open the hands, rolling back, spreading the fingers wide and noticing the sensations in your arms. If you like, you can close your eyes and really tune into what you feel. See if you can let go of tension while you stay with the effort of holding the arms here. And then once more, we'll roll back. So the back wants to kind of round here. See if you can stay upright and just let that movement be in the shoulders. Great. And then relax the arms. Just give them a little shake. Again, anytime you need to take a break, it's totally fine. But if you can stay with the effort without tension, you can stay. We'll do a few circles, making the hands into fists here. Circling. So it's not about enduring. If you need a break, if you're feeling tension, lower the arms anytime. And if you can stay with it and stay relaxed, circle the other way a few times. Great. And then fingertips up, spread the fingers wide. Again, gently press out. Feel the sensations in your arms. And then again, give them a little shake and slowly lower them down. If you've stayed that whole time, just really relax. And if you had to take a break in between, thank yourself for listening to what you needed. And take a few breaths here as you notice the sensations that are now present in your shoulders, arms, hands, and wrists. Now we'll work a little bit with the head, the neck, the shoulders, turning your head to one side. And let your chin come slightly down towards your collarbone so you feel a bit of stretch on the opposite side of your neck. And then we'll slowly release and let the chin come down across the front of the chest to slowly come up to the other side. And you can find a position there with the chin slightly down toward the collarbone. Pause for a moment. And then again, we'll sweep across the front of the chest. And you can go side to side like this a few times. I really encourage you to go slowly and stay tuned in. Right, so it's really easy to do these simple movements without any kind of consciousness while we're maybe thinking about something else entirely. If you find an area that feels a little bit tighter than some of the other areas, you can pause there, so that the weight of your head creates some stretch, or even do some little tiny circles around that area. So really delve into the experience, make it your own, find what your neck needs. Maybe it needs more of a side stretch or a little more of your head hanging forward. So now is your opportunity to tune in, to gently move your neck in ways that feel good to you. And if it feels like you've had enough movement with your neck, you just come back to a neutral position anytime. Now, as you come back to the center, we're going to bring the hands in front, and you'll interlace your fingers, press the palms away, shoulders down. See if you can feel a little stretch or any sensation in the arms. And then bring the hands back in. We're going to release the fingers and interlace them the opposite way. So whichever thumb was on top in the beginning, you have the other thumb on top now. And then again, same thing, pressing up and away. And then we'll lift the hands up, really cautious with your shoulders, so bend the arms and don't come all the way up if you need to, if that's better for your shoulders. And then turning the palms towards your body, and let the hands come behind your head and let the elbows come wide. You rest your head back gently into your hands, take the elbows apart, and breathe here for a couple of breaths. So shoulder blades coming in, elbows apart. If it's uncomfortable for your shoulders, you can be more here with your arms and keep the head neutral. And then from here, letting the head come forward, you're not yanking on your head at all. Bring the elbows in towards each other and letting the upper back open a little bit, the space between your shoulder blades open. And then you'll lift, opening, and we'll go back and forth between those two a few times. Really, really cautious not to pull on your head here. So you're letting the head move, the hands are just there as a guide. You're opening the elbows as you lift and bringing the elbows in towards each other without pulling on your head. Right. Maybe one more. Okay, and then let's come back to the center. We'll slowly release the arms. Bring the hands onto the thighs or onto the knees or into the lap. You can close your eyes if you like and notice what you're feeling now in your upper chest, upper back, shoulders, neck, head. Now, let's stretch the legs out. Give them a little shake. If you're on the floor, if you're on a chair, then you may skip this step. And so just giving them a little shake, waking them up if they have fallen asleep. And we're going to make our way upright to stand. So take your time, however you get there is absolutely fine. And so you might go over on your hands and knees to come upright, or just lift yourself straight up from sitting. So whatever works for you to come right up to mountain pose. So as you come upright again, take a moment to settle. So we're going to slow things down a little bit today, feel a little bit more. And so I invite you to bring your feet under your hips, about hip distance apart, and pick your toes up and wiggle them around. Great. And then when you bring your toes down, see if you can bring them down with a little bit of space between your toes. So you feel like you're fanning your toes out a little bit. And then feel the ground beneath your feet, beneath each toe, underneath the ball of your foot. Feel the ground under your heels and really be aware of that and that interface between your body and the earth. And then let's rock forward onto the balls of the feet. You can lift the heels and lift right up onto your toes. And then rock back as your heels come down, bend the knees. Okay, and then lift up and come onto your toes and feel what has to happen there. The toes grip a little maybe. Good, and then slowly release, bend your knees, feel that little stretch in the ankles. Coming up, take your time. You can pause here if you're able to be balanced on your toes. If you lose your balance, that's okay. Just come back, feel that equalization happening, that balance happening. And then release down. Let's bend the knees. Good. And come back to neutral. So we'll bring a little bit of awareness to the feet now and to the ankles and give them a little bit of love. So if you have one foot forward and one foot back, and if you just take a step as if you're kind of walking on the road, it's that kind of a stance. So it's not a great big step, but just as if you're walking, and then pause there, bend both knees, really relax, let your arms hang down. You want to have a bit of space between your 2 feet. So you don't want to be on a tightrope where it's going to be difficult to balance. Both knees are bent. And really what you're likely feeling here is some stretch in the back ankle. You might feel other things as well. So I invite you to really tune into what you notice. I feel my thighs are working. They're engaged. I feel the back ankle getting a nice big stretch here. And then from here, you can take your hands onto your front knee. Take that back foot, step it back a little further and press the heel toward the ground for a little more stretch into the calf. And you might experience the stretch a little higher up. Again, you may experience other sensations, so tune into what's true for you. And if anything I suggest is ever uncomfortable or painful for you, please modify, come out of the pose. Really attend to and honor your own limits and needs. Let's step onto the front foot now. I'm going to circle that ankle, so the leg that was back behind you. Doing some circles if you need to hold on to something nearby so you've got better balance, that's fine. And then very gently take the top of that foot and place it on the ground. Let your leg hang down. You don't need to push here. For most of you, if you want more stretch, you can gently put a little pressure down. Be careful if your foot starts to cramp. If the bottom of your foot starts to cramp up, you'll just turn your toes so that your toes are forward and then press the heel forward. And we can all come into that position, actually. Toes down, heel forward, stretching the arch. And then give that leg a little shake out in front. Let your ankle be relaxed, so just let it flop around. Great. And then bring that foot down, both feet side by side again. If you like, you can close your eyes, but you certainly don't have to. And tune in and notice, can you feel any difference from one foot to the other? Do they feel a bit different? Is there different sensations in one foot compared with the other now? And the answer might be no, and that's perfectly acceptable. And tune in and see what's true for you. So the foot that I worked, it feels a little bigger. It feels, I can feel something that's stretched in the arch of my foot that just feels a little more open. It feels a bit warmer. So let's try the other side. So whichever foot was forward will be back and vice versa. So the foot that you've already worked with will be the forward foot, and the foot that's new will be back. So again, just that short stance to begin with. You can bend both knees. Make sure your feet are apart side to side so you feel well balanced, so you're not on a tightrope here. And again, take a moment to tune in, notice what you feel. If anything is uncomfortable, shift and adjust it. So aside from the stretch in your back ankle, if you feel that there, what else do you notice? What else are you aware of? And then you can bring your hands onto your front knee. Take the back leg, step it back a little further until you feel some stretch in the calf area. For almost everyone, that'll be the result of this particular stretch. But again, if something different is your experience and it's comfortable for you, then feel free to stay with and notice whatever's true for you. Make sure you're breathing. Notice where your attention is. Bring it back to sensation if you've wandered away somewhere. It's really easy to wander away. And the goal is not to never wander away, but to find your way back. And let's step onto the front foot now. You can circle that ankle. And then we'll take the top of the foot and bring it to the mat. And again, just let your leg hang gently down. If you want a little more stretch and it feels okay for you, you can put a little gentle pressure. If your foot cramps, you'll immediately turn your toes under and stretch the arch. And if you like, you can roll from one side to the other of your foot to give yourself a little more stretch. Again, only if that feels good for you. Great. And then we'll bring the toes down, heel forward. And then take the leg out and just give it a little shake. Okay, and again, we'll come back to mountain pose. And again, bring the attention all the way down to the feet. And we spend so much time up here, let's get down into the soles of our feet. Feel what's present there, what you're aware of, what you notice. Right, now let's turn the palms out. Lift up onto the toes as you lift the arms overhead. See if you can find your balance here. And then slowly lower the arms as the heels come down. When your heels come to the ground, let your body bend forward, and you can either bring your hands to your lower back or to your thighs or reach down toward the ground. And then as you lift back up, once you come upright, the arms will be about halfway up. You can start to lift up in the heels. And then slowly lower the heels. When your heels are down, arms are about halfway. And then from there, you can add that forward bend. So arms are about halfway up as you're upright, lifting the heels, coming all the way up. And then heels are down when the arms are about halfway. Bend your knees as you come forward. Again. Okay, next time you're coming upright, keep your heels down, just let the arms float up. Pause there with the arms overhead, heels firmly planted, shoulders relaxed down, and then slowly, 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 let the arms float down. Notice all the sensations as you go. Nice big breath, let it go. Now let's take the feet apart. So we often do these hip circles just to get some movement into the hip joints, to lubricate the joints. And I invite you today to really tune in to the feeling and the experience of that movement around the joint. So hands can be on the hips just to get them out of the way. And knees are soft here. And then a little circle to begin with. And notice, what are you aware of? So is there more sensation in some parts of the circle than others? Is there more sensation on one side than the other? Be really curious. So there's no right or wrong here. It's just noticing what is. At some point, you can go ahead and switch directions and see how it feels different, if it feels different going this way. Right, and let's come back to the center. Let the arms release down. You can bring the feet into wherever they're comfortable for you. We'll make the hands into fists. And gently squeeze your fists. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears. Squeeze your face. Squeeze your arms. Squeeze your whole body. Take a big breath in. Exhale and let it all go. Let's do that again. Squeezing. Lifting the shoulders, squeezing the face. Exhale, let it go. And one more time. Feel it all here and then release. Oh, lovely. Okay, let's do some work with the shoulders. So we'll rotate the shoulders one and the other. If you want to move your feet a little apart or find a more comfortable stance, feel free. And do keep your knees soft. So you don't want to start bringing any tension into the knees. So again, tune in and notice what you feel. If it's comfortable to have your eyes closed, sometimes that can be an easier way to tune in, but it can also be a little tricky when you're doing standing movements. Go the other way at some point and tune in, notice. Lovely. And let's come back to the center, bringing the feet in side by side. Let's interlace the fingers again. Press down with the palms and then slowly lift. And then we'll slide the hands down, palms facing the head. So again, if this position wasn't comfortable before, it's probably not going to be comfortable again. You can always bring your hands onto your shoulders instead. So from here, lifting one elbow. The other one will tip down a little bit, but let the focus be on lifting and then come to center. And then lift the other elbow and come to center. Side to side a couple of times. So we're really not trying to go down. It's all about a little lift on the one side. And then maybe stay for a couple of breaths. And as you're staying, if it's comfortable for you, you can take that elbow that's up in the air, move it back a little, breathe into your armpit, shoulder, the side of your ribs, the waist, the hip. If it's too much, just come out of the pose at any time. Eventually return to center and we'll lift the other elbow. And again, if you find it okay, it's not bothersome for your shoulder, you can take that shoulder back, the elbow back a little. Breathe into your shoulder, armpit, rib cage, waist, hip. And then we're lifting up to the center. We'll lift the arms, turn the palms up, and slowly release. and then shake that off. Just let that go. Give your legs a shake, arms a shake. Just releasing all of that. So we're going to make our way down onto the mat, onto all fours. So if you have tender knees, you can bring a blanket under your knees to support your knees, and make your way down to the mat, however is most efficient for you, most comfortable for you, most safe for you. And then we'll end up in this posture called table position. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Just take a moment. Again, you can close your eyes if that helps you tune in. Feel your hands on the mat. Notice where the pressure is. And try moving the pressure around a little bit. Maybe pressure one hand a little more and then the other. Put pressure into your fingertips, the heels of your hand, maybe into the bases of your fingers if that's comfortable. I find it's a little more comfortable for me to have some space under the bases of my fingers, so most of the pressure is my fingertips and the heels of my hands. So really feel that connection to the earth, feel your knees on the ground, and then start to let your tailbone lift. Bend your elbows a little, let your chest come forward between your arms, coming into this gentle arch position. Make sure you're not cranking your head back, so lengthen the back of the neck by looking down. And then start the movement again with your tailbone tucking under. Let the spine follow like dominoes and the head comes down at the end. So tailbone initiates the movement, elbows stay soft, chest comes forward, head only lifts just in line with the arc of your spine, and then the tailbone starts the rounding movement. Your spine, the vertebrae follow like dominoes. So continue that. Don't worry about how you're breathing. Usually we breathe in a very particular pattern here, but this way we can really move slowly and feel the articulation of all of the vertebrae of the spine, all that nice slow movement. Now, if your wrists are starting to feel like they've had a lot of pressure, or if you want a bit more stretch for your back, you can start to bring in child's pose. So moving the hips back, taking some of the pressure off the wrists as you exhale. And then as you come forward, you can either come back onto the hands or just stay down on the forearms if that's better for your wrists. So just rocking back and forth a little now. And again, really tuning into what you're experiencing moment to moment. Whether that's the feeling of pressure on the knees, or the feeling of stretch in your back, or the feeling of movement in your neck. So just noticing what's present. Try to let go of judgment, what it might mean, or what you should do about what you experience. Be curious about what's happening right now in your body. So if you like, you can start to vary the movement, sending the hips towards one heel and the other, coming back up, letting the heart lift, circling around the back as you come up this time. So again, make this movement your own, moving into the ways that your body wants to move, that would feel good to you. Child's pose feels like what would feel really good to you. You can go ahead and come into child's pose and hang out there. So really listening to your body, following for the moment what would feel the best to you. Just keep moving or come to stillness, whatever feels good. I'll give you a minute or two just to explore. You know, if you're a little bit more advanced in the practice, you might come into downward dog by lifting your knees up. That kind of option is available. So really just take your time, explore, breathe, and feel whatever sensations are present. You to stretch your legs out and move in any way that you like. And then eventually we're going to move from this position. Swing your legs around. however you want to get there. We're going to come to lie right down on the mat. So if you want to have a cushion under your head for support, feel free. If you've got a blanket or something, you could use that. So as you come down, place one hand on your abdomen, one hand maybe on your rib cage, and try to do that in a way so that your elbows are on the ground. So it might be more on the sides of your body, that's fine. Just anywhere really where you can feel your breath moving, two different places in your body. Elbows on the ground so that your shoulders can be really relaxed here. And then all you need to do now is to breathe. There's no particularly special way to breathe, just breathing normally. And feeling the movement, feeling your hands moving, maybe both hands move, maybe only one hand moves, maybe one hand moves first and then the other. So get curious about that movement, get curious about your breath. Just feeling what is present, any sensations that you're aware of. And then you'll take your arms and bring them down to your sides. Turn the palms toward the ceiling. And then we'll slowly slide the arms away from you. And you're sliding them up like you're making a snow angel. And at some point, you're going to start to probably feel some stretch in your chest or your shoulders or your upper arms. And when you start to feel that little bit of stretch, wherever it is, you want to make sure that it's a really comfortable place. You'll let your arms pause and rest there. So you don't want to feel your biggest possible stretch. It's really just the beginnings of the stretch you want to feel so that you can really relax there and tune into the sensation. So sometimes if the sensation is too much or too intense, we automatically check out as a bit of a safety mechanism. Nice easeful stretch, feeling into whatever is present. Continuing with that nice, easy, uncontrolled breath. If you lose sensation, so if you stop feeling anything, maybe your shoulders have relaxed in this position, you could take the arms into a slightly different position and see if you can come into another place of comfortable stretch, but you may not need to move, and that's fine. We'll take a few more breaths here, tuning in, bringing the attention back anytime it wanders. And then when you're ready, we'll slowly lower the arms, again like a snow angel, coming back down to your sides. You can turn your palms down to face the mat or the ground. And just let the shoulders and arms relax here for a moment and see if you can notice whatever's present, whatever you're aware of in your shoulders and arms. And then we'll lift the arms straight up, turning the palms to face each other as the arms go over your chest. So you could imagine you're holding a beach ball over your chest here. And find a balance point, so there's very little effort in holding the arms here. And then we're going to reach up toward the ceiling with the fingertips. Feel your shoulder blades separate and lift a little bit. Take a breath here. And then slowly let the shoulder blades sink back down. Let the arm bones sink in toward the shoulder blades, down toward the ground. Pause there for a breath or two. And then lift up again. Reaching up, opening that space between the shoulder blades and then sinking them come back down, relaxing the arms toward the ground. And then one more time, lifting up, reaching up, opening up the upper back a little bit, and then softening and releasing down. From here, with the arms up in the air, we'll bend the elbows and bring your hands to rest on opposite elbows. So you're making a little square shape over your chest. From here, slowly rolling the head and taking the elbows to the same side. And again, just until you feel a little bit of sensation, and then roll back to the center. And then go to the other side. Just touch that sensation of twist and stretch, and then back to the center. And then as you go side to side, you can dip in a little deeper if it feels right for you, or stay at that very gentle level of stretch. You just never want to force or push your body. It's never productive. Your body will automatically tense up and resist. So we ease into the movements, ease into the stretches, feeling all the nuance of sensation as we go, as a way of being mindful and present within the practice as much as possible. You can keep moving a couple more times to either side, or you might even stay for a couple of breaths on one side. See how things shift when you stay in that position. And then maybe stay on the other side as well. And then when you come back to the center, we're going to separate the arms again into that open position that we were in a moment ago. So finding that position where you're feeling just that little bit of stretch across the front of the chest now. And now we'll add some movement for the legs. So you can let the knees go gently down towards one side, and then up to the center, and then gently down toward the other side. So as the knees go one way, it tends to increase the stretch in the opposite shoulder. So if you need to lower the arms to be comfortable, lower the arms. And if you want to feel more sensation and more stretch, you can always experiment with taking the arms even a little higher and playing with how far the legs go to the side. So again, I'll give you a minute or so to explore this movement, making little adjustments to be absolutely within your comfort zone. You're welcome to keep moving or stay for a few breaths on either side. So really make it your own. Trust your intuition and your instinct here. Trust your body to let you know if something feels good or doesn't feel good. And then eventually, and there's absolutely no rush, eventually when you feel complete with that twist, you're going to come back to the center. You'll slowly lower the arms back down to your sides. And then walking the legs in, bringing the knees in towards your chest. You can place your hands one on each knee. And that gentle movement of moving the knees away from you by straightening the arms, and then bending the elbows to move the knees in close to your body. You can do this with your legs relatively close together. You can do it with your knees quite wide apart if that feels more comfortable for your abdomen. And you don't have to squeeze the knees in toward your body. It can really be just a little movement, whatever is comfortable for you. And then again, I'd like to invite you to vary the movement. So for you, it might feel good to rock side to side. It might feel good to circle your knees around, either together or separately. Just take another minute or two. Follow again your body's instinct and intuition to what would feel good Stretching and releasing the lower back. Right, and then eventually, when you're ready, you'll bring your feet back down onto the ground and have your feet about hip distance apart. So maybe 4-6 inches apart with your knees lined up more or less over your ankles. Your feet could be a little further away from your body, but right under the ankles is a good guide. Be a little closer, a little further. And then let's take the arms and just let them really relax on the ground. So a little bit away from your body so that there's lots of space for movement in the armpits. The palms can face the ceiling as long as that's comfortable for your shoulders or the ground if that feels better. And you want to make sure you don't have any big pillow behind your head for this one. We're going to be lifting the hips. If you've got your head already lifted up, it may be a little too much pressure on your neck. So you can move slowly again and really determine where the best position is for you. But I like to start with my head on the ground or just something really slight under my head. So from here, you're going to press down into your feet. Feel your lower back move toward the ground. And then from there, keep pressing into your feet and very slowly start to lift your spine off the ground. See if you can feel or imagine feeling each vertebra one by one lifting up. Excuse me. Try to keep your shoulders, your neck, and your face relaxed here. You don't have to lift way up in the air. You can just lift wherever's comfortable for you. And then when you're ready, you can reverse and slowly, just as slowly as you came up, lowering down. Again, feeling or imagining you feel each vertebra coming back to the ground. When you get there, pause for a moment. Just tune into what's present in your body as you come back to lying down. And then I'll invite you to do that same sequence a few more times at your own pace. You'll do it maybe 2, 3, 4 times, depending on how fast you're moving. So again, you start by pressing into your feet, keeping your shoulders, neck, and face relaxed, and then in your own time, you slowly peel up the spine from the ground, lifting any amount. So it feels right for you to come all the way up, lifting onto the back of the shoulders. Great. If you're more on the upper back, that's great too. Lowering down at your own pace. Get another minute or two to work with this movement. And the main thing here is just slowing it down, tuning in, and noticing the nuances of sensation. Don't worry about how you're breathing, just make sure you are breathing. And make the one that you're currently on the last one, but take your time. Don't rush just because you know it's the last one. Take your time, and when you do come back to that neutral position with your spine on the ground, pause there and just take a moment to tune in and notice what you feel. You can even name it in your head. I feel tingling around my spine, or I feel some tightness around my shoulders. And then when you're ready, we'll bring both knees into the chest again. This time letting the elbows rest on the ground, hands come to the outer thigh. So it's very relaxed for the shoulders and arms. You can let the knees come apart now. Let your hands support your legs as they Move into your hands, side to side, into the side, and then bringing the knees back together. So we'll just gently open and close the legs and really tune into where you first feel the stretch, how far you go with that stretch, how far your body wants to go, when you know it's the end, right? When you know that's enough. And then reversing, when does the stretch go away? So really take your time, slow down, do 3 or 4 more where you really notice where I first feel the stretch. When do I know it's time to stop stretching? What does my body tell me? So make the one you're on the last one. If you like, you can pause in that open position for just a little longer and explore that edge. How do you know that that's where your body says that's enough? Right? Maybe back off a little, or maybe lean into the stretch. See what feels right for you. But use your hands to support, so you've always got that backup. And then let's slowly bring the knees together. You stretch the legs up toward the ceiling. You circle the ankles around. If you like, you can also take the arms and lift them, circle the wrists around. Any which way, figure eights or circles, whatever feels good, and then bring some movement to the limbs. Give them a shake. Really shake them out. Feel the sensations of your legs and arms moving in the air. And then slowly release them back to the ground. When you get there, as long as it's comfortable for you, you can stretch your legs straight out. Let the arms rest on the ground and just take a moment to notice the sensations after that. Shaking and stretching and moving. You can notice in your body as you come to stillness. Again, there's no right or wrong, just noticing and observing. To make the transition now into Shavasana, so you might already be exactly where you want to be for Shavasana, and you can just stay right there. If you want to add some extra layers of clothing or a blanket to make sure that you're warm enough, you can do that. If you want to bend your knees or find a more comfortable position, even if you like, you can come to seated. So most people will choose to stay lying down, but if you feel that you want to be more alert or that sitting is somehow more comfortable for you, that is always an option. So again, take a minute to find your comfortable place where you can rest for a few minutes. When you come to that place, I invite you to tune into your breath again. So just feel that feeling of the breath coming and going like waves in your body. There's no need for you to control the breath in any way. Feel how the breath moves you, how the breath moves through you. And as you exhale, feel yourself soften and let go of the effort of the practice, the engagement with your body and your mind. And let everything soften as you surrender into the support of the ground beneath you. As you exhale, feel all the points in the back of your body that make contact with the ground. and let them melt. Let your body soften. Let your edges soften a little bit. The contraction and folding when we're busy or stressed. See if you can soften the edges of that. Just let your body, let your skin soften all around your body. And then under your skin, the layer of muscles, let your muscles soften all around your body. Feel with that next, more inner layer of your body, let go, holding tension all the way through your system. Wherever you notice holding in the muscles, bring softness, bring ease. Find your mind starts wandering, you can always use the breath as a focus to come back to. And just feeling the breath in your body, feeling the movement, feeling its rhythm. And see if you can soften right down into your bones. As the muscles relax and the skin skin relaxes, feel your bones. Just resting gently, that cushion of support. Let your organs relax. Feel the muscles around your belly soften and the organs within the abdominal cavity all soften and relax. Letting the muscles around your chest relax and the organs within your thoracic cavity soften and let go. Let your brain relax. Let your physical brain relax and soften. The muscles around your head release as your brain relaxes. Anytime your mind wanders, you can use the breath as a focus and really tune into that rhythm and movement. And as you rest and integrate the practice today, I'll share with you a chant that's about clearing obstacles from our path. And it's about beginning a journey together. So as we step into our second week of classes, this journey together, to really tune into our bodies, releasing the obstacles in our bodies and minds that hold us back from truly embodying our practice, being present with ourselves. Ganapati Gum Havamahe Kaving Kavinam Upamashravastamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashrinvanutibis Siddhasadana Shri Maha Ganapataye Namaha. So as always, if you get to this point in the practice and you really feel like you need more time to integrate, you want more time to relax and just absorb the effects of the practice, you're welcome to stay in Shavasana. You can just ignore me or turn off the recording, or if you're live, just reading the live session. Excuse me. And if you're ready to start to bring a little more energy into your body and come back into this plane of existence, you can start to deepen your breath a little. Take a few deeper breaths and feel that energy starting to come back into your body. And eventually you could bring some movement into your fingers and toes. So starting with the extremities and then gradually adding more movement with your wrists and ankles, stretching out the arms and legs. Take your time again. Use your intuition and your instinct to feel what movements or stillness would be right for you right now. And again, really take your time. When you feel ready to start to think about coming upright, if you're lying down, you can roll over onto your side. Again, every movement, really tune into what you experience, what you notice, what sensations are present. So we're never just rushing through anything tonight. It's really feeling each moment. Eventually, if you've rolled onto your side, you can make your way back to sitting. Take a moment there when you come back to sitting just to get comfortable again, to feel present in this position again. And then let your hands come together at your heart. And if you're still lying down and you want to join in this part, you're more than welcome. So the invitation is always there to take the theme of the class into your life. And so in this way, you would really tune into more regularly the experience that you're having physically. So noticing your body, just pausing several times in the day to ask yourself, what do I feel in my body right now? And it doesn't have to be anything profound or anything intense or outrageous, but just noticing. And when we give our bodies that time and space, they start to become more like friends and less like enemies, which we can definitely at times become to our bodies. So making friends with our bodies by listening, by being there, by showing up for ourselves. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.